Hello everyone, my name is Jesse and welcome back to another Bakugan Q&A. So a couple weeks ago I asked you guys to leave Bakugan related questions. I asked in my YouTube community area and then I also asked on Instagram. So we're going to be going through all of those and answering them. I don't want to waste any more time, so let's jump into it. Alright guys, we're going to kick this off with a super simple question. Sapphire Sonic fan asks, who's your favorite Bakugan from the show? I guess from the show, personality-wise, Preyas, because Preyas was so funny. But I do like Skyrus a little bit too, and I even like a little bit of Gorham. Just personality-wise, you know, I think they also had some pretty funny like ideas incorporated with all of that. So I don't want to be too like generic, but probably Preyas just because he was funny. I think he's a lot of like show favorites. Up next, Phantom Froggy asks, did you have a childhood collection or did you start your current collection from scratch? Yes to both of those. So yes, I did have a childhood collection. I vaguely remember it. It was so long ago, but I know that when I got rid of most of them, like I grew up and I wasn't into the toys anymore. I did keep a couple. I kept a Chaos Wyvern, a Pearl Ventus Monoris, a Pearl Aqua Cyranoid, and one other that I can't remember. It might have been a Chaos Tigrera, but I'm not 100% sure. But those were my favorite Bakugan that I had from my collection growing up as a kid. I kept them in a chest for a really long time before one of the times we moved, I ended up getting rid of them because they were taking up space. And then yes, I did restart my current collection from scratch. So back in last January, I think, I started collecting again. I was up visiting some family. I don't exactly remember what I was doing, but I think I was on TikTok and I saw a Bakugan video, just like a random one. I think it was like a sponsored one or something like that for the new series. And it got me thinking about like the old toys. So I wanted to get a Pyrus Drago, went on eBay, and it was pretty much history from that. My first one I rebought was a B1 Pyrus Dragonoid, followed by the DS version White Naga. So that's where it kind of kick-started, and it just spiraled all down from there. Here we are now. Awesome Man 2345, kind of the same question. When did you first get into Bakugan? So when I was a kid, I was into Pokemon a lot at the time growing up. So I watched Pokemon, and then Bakugan came out, and then following that was Beyblade. I got into Beyblade for a little while too, but kind of all in that same 2000, you know, so-and-so era. I think it was like 2009, 2008, whenever Bakugan first came out in America. So when it launched, you know, I was kind of right there with it, which was really cool. Lance Quavante Bleeperson asks, is Leonardos canon? So if you don't know what canon means, it means is Leonardos, you know, real, like in terms of storyline with the show and all that. So Leonardos, if you didn't know, is a Bakugan in the game. So any of the DS games or the PlayStation games, you know, the original series of games you could play on any kind of handheld console or, you know, just Xbox or PlayStation and Wii. He was like the main character Bakugan your character got. But is he canon in terms of the show, in terms of Bakugan lore? I'm gonna have to say no, and here's my reasoning, right? So if you think about the first game, and this is what I'm basing it off of because I just recently played it and it's the only one I've played through, it kind of closely follows the show in some ways. You have the same characters, same voice actors, all that, but they don't cross over really, and you don't hear Leonardos mentioned in the show, and you also don't see the what's the other dude's name? The guy who had, I don't know what his name is. This dude right here. He doesn't show up in the actual show. Therefore, I don't think the game itself is even canon. So if the character does not directly influence the storyline of the show, which is what I'm using as the canon series, then no, I don't think he does, just because he doesn't appear anywhere else but the game. Lastly, for the YouTube section, Dario Cameli Fiat, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, I'm probably going to butcher a lot of these, but he asks, what are your top 3 Bakugan episodes from the OG series? Mine have to be the saga wherein Dan loses Drago to Spectra and gets him back using Apollinaire. Keep up the great content. Thank you. Yeah, that's a good one. I think my personal favorite are most of the episodes of season 1 before they start doing like the trials where their Bakugan evolve. So they each get sucked in by one of the warrior Bakugan, and then their Bakugan evolves. I like most of season 1 up until that. I remember watching it and just kind of like nodding off. The top 3 from the OG. It's probably going to be a bunch of the stuff that falls into that first season. Definitely when Masquerade and Drago fought, any of those was really epic. And then, of course, anytime Dan and Spectra fought was really good. I don't have one necessarily off the top of my head, and nothing from Season 3 comes to mind because I just recently started watching it, and it all feels the same. Like, I'm 13 or 14 episodes in, and that show's literally been the same thing. Something happens, they battle, and then nothing else happens. It's just a constant back and forth fight. Season 3 so far has not been living up to my expectations. Now we're on to the Instagram questions. Gutsugan X asks, what's something Bakugan as a company could do to make it more mainstream? Interesting. So, I don't know, I don't keep up with the other toys, the other toy lines in this, but if Bakugan wanted to improve what they're doing, especially as a reboot thing, they need to go back to what they did originally. I think what they're doing is sort of that. They introduced the Nanogans again, like the little small Bakugan, and they even have like the clear light up Bakugan now. I think those just came out. So that's definitely a start. And they also came out with their new heavy metal, which is good, but I don't know, maybe they could reintroduce the battle gear aspect. It seems like the Gyogans are sort of traps, so maybe they'll go in with battle gear, but they don't want to do too much. You know, I think Mechanium Surge got ruined when they did too much. They added too many like toys. It's too much plastic, basically. So in order to make it more mainstream, I think they need to tailor to the Legacy series, because the Legacy series still seems to be more popular. So as long as they tailor it to that, maybe remake a few, you know, original classic Bakugan, that would definitely make it more mainstream. Other than that, like, I can only think of like adding electronic sounds to them. You know, like some of the Bakugan they made they had lights, they made noises like bug noises and all that. That could be another thing. Like maybe there's a Bakugan who sings. That would be kind of cool. Yeah, I think that's all I got for this question. Next up, David Murray asks, what's the best Bakugan and why Brontes? I don't know what you mean by Brontes. Do you mean that Brontes is the best Bakugan? Because no. We all know that Hydronoid's the best Bakugan. Ahmad asks, who's your favorite brawler? So I've mentioned this before, but I really want to see Alice brawl more. So Alice was my favorite brawler, not Masquerade, Alice. And you only ever see her brawl once. But I think that contrast between this dark giant, you know, darkish dragon and this cutesy little girl is really cool. And something that I wanted to see a lot more. So I'm going to go a little off the rails and say Alice. So, I don't know. Who's your favorite brawler? Leave it in the comments below. Alright, up next, HollyPHAXPH asks, would you make a Bakutek competitive tier list? That's an interesting video, because I know they have like you can make tier lists of certain things now. I could honestly do that for all Bakugan, like all the seasons or something like that, if I get the, like maybe I have to get cutouts or something for them. I don't know how that works, but I could do that for probably each season. That would be an interesting video. But in terms of Bakutek, I could, but I need to like update myself on it. I don't know a lot of Bakutek. I only know like a few of them. I haven't even watched the show or read any of the manga yet, so I don't want to like jump into that. But I could definitely do it for the first couple seasons of Bakugan. Alright, D1C3 asks, favorite original series and reboot Bakugan? Favorite original series Bakugan, I really like Cyranoid. I don't want to say, I want to answer differently for a bunch of these, but Cyranoid's really cool, at least in the show. But I really like Helios as like a Bakugan toy. Any Helios, but specifically the Viper Helios. That's a really sick Bakugan, especially to have as a toy. In terms of the reboot, I don't know a lot. I have Nilius, which is pretty cool, but I do like Sharktar. I want to get an Elemental Aqua Sharktar, so I'm waiting, but probably Sharktar. I just haven't seen the reboot, but I do like his design as a toy. All right, up next, Kardariar Kaya. I don't know how you pronounce that. If you could swap Marucho or Shun with another one of the original 6 battle brawlers, who would it be? Alice, hands down. Like I say, I think this person means like within the other shows. So like, you know how they always mix and match other characters. So you have like Jake in the 3rd season instead of Julie. If I could swap one, it'd be Alice. That'd be sick. Like, come on, Hydronoid in a fight in one of the other seasons. That'd be awesome. So yeah, I'd swap it with Alice. Either of them, it doesn't matter. I'd probably keep Shun because Marucho in the 3rd season gets annoying. All right, and this person asked another question, which is very similar, and it says, did you support the idea of Marucho and Shun changing partners every season? Yes and no. So yes, I think it's necessary, and I think it kept the show interesting. Unfortunately, we do lose Preus and Skyrus, but like Drago evolves continuously, but we don't see that with pretty much any other Bakugan. I think part of that is like Drago got evolved from other reasons besides getting stronger, like Hydronoid, you know, he capped off at Alpha, and same with Gorham, like he capped off after Hammer Gorham, right? So I think that we would just be seeing Storm, Skyrus, and like Preus fight, which doesn't make sense. You know, you want to switch it up. Plus it makes cool for collecting other Bakugan, and plus the relationship between Preus and Elfin was pretty cool. And then Soy Berto asks, favorite fight / brawl? I really liked some of the I guess like the side character fights, so like when Cyranoid fought and when Fortress fought and all that, but probably the biggest one is when Hydronoid and Drago fought at the end and they revealed who Masquerade was, right? Up next, Choi Danny asks, what's your most expensive Bakugan? The most expensive I've bought or the most expensive that I own? I can answer them both. So the most expensive Bakugan I bought was my single-headed Hydronoid. So most of you guys probably are aware of this, but they go online for like, you know, anywhere from like $300 to $700. I bought mine for $163 and maybe some like a couple cents or something like that. I won it as a bid a long time ago, and that's actually the most expensive Bakugan I own. That's the most amount of money I've ever spent on a Bakugan, was $163. The most expensive Bakugan that I have, probably like market value, would be my Translucent Darkest Night Percival. So I got that one for like $100, but you don't really see them online. The most recent one I've seen was a $500 one on eBay that, as far as I know, hasn't sold yet. So I want to base it around that price, so probably anywhere from like $300 to $500. And then I also have a Pyrus Mercury Dragonoid that's also probably around $300. So, you know, in terms of money, those are probably my most expensive. Ooh. All right, Mad Maxwell 26 asks, if you could choose any Bakugan, who would be your partner? Who would it be and why? Ooh, I like this question. So my favorite attribute is Darkest, so I think I would have to say a Darkest Bakugan, but I really like Cyranoid. I really like Aqua Cyranoid. But yeah, if I had to do like a Darkest Bakugan, ooh. This is tough. What if I just said Naga? Can I have Naga be my partner Bakugan? I'm gonna go with that. I want Naga to be my partner Bakugan. Alright guys, and that is going to be the end of this Q&A. Thank you guys for such awesome questions. This was fantastic. It was so much fun reading what you guys have to say, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you guys have any additional questions after watching this video, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. I can make a part 3 to the Q&A kind of playlist here. If you haven't seen the previous Q&A, you can go ahead and click it. There'll be a little end card up here in one of these corners. I think my mirror's flipped, so I think it's right here. There we go. My camera's definitely flipped mirroring it, so it'll be there. You can check it out now. And then, of course, just if you like the channel, you know, go ahead and subscribe, leave a like, and yeah, of course, leave more questions in the comments below. My name's Jesse, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.